Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another video blog on model railroading. This is my N-scale shelf layout that has been previously posted. I've chosen this time to set up my shelf a little different, to use it as a classification yard. Now we can operate our trains just like we play a game of cards. Consider each card to be as a car, a boxcar, a tank car, a hopper, and we can play it out like a game of solitaire. Basically, we're looking to position the car in the proper place, just like in this game of Klondike. This is what we're doing with our cars as well. We can actually, if you like, in order to do an operating session, make a 3x5 card for each car on your railroad, shuffle them, turn out 4 or 5 for delivering to 4 or 5 industries, and then go out to the yard after all the cars are placed in the yard. Obviously, you only have a deck of the cars that are in the yard, and then once you have them placed, you can begin to pull and classify the cars according to the industry. So what I like to do is just kind of do a short diagram here for you to look at, and look at the yard with a handful of cars. Don't have everything depicted here, but we look at the yard and we're going to line up one track out of the yard, the pull and place, just like you're spotting them at an industry. But here we're going to, for the simplicity, place 3 or 4 cars in the proper spot. Now this is how we spot them. We want the first car behind the engine to go to the first industry. So in this case we're looking at industry A being the first delivery, B, C, D. And so what we're going to need to do is pull the last car, put it furthest from the engine, then pull the next furthest, and then the next, until we build up our train with the first delivery to industry A behind the engine. And it's that simple. So in this manner, I'm able to use my simple 6-foot shelf layout for 2 types of operating sessions. One where I place the industry down like a warehouse, and I spot the cars along there as if as the engine brings, the cars already made up. The other way is to use the shelf layout I have here and convert it into a simple yard operation. So I can pull out this shelf within a few minutes, set up my trains, and operate it whichever chooses my fancy for that session. So in this session, I'm only looking at placing 4 cars for the simplicity of demonstrating how it's done. And so I'm going to have the last car delivered would be the brown box, and then the following car would be the tanker, then the hopper, and then the first car going to industry A. The first one would be the yellow rail box car. So I'm pulling the last car first, as I mentioned earlier, and I begin doing my placement. So here I placed the brown box car, and the next one I'll need would be the tanker car. So I'll make a move now to pull the tanker out of the yard and put it on the classification track. You will notice from my previous videos that they weren't scenic, and I gave one layer of ground texture and then a second layer of some green, maybe some grass, turf, and it makes a world of difference. But this is just the base layer now, and the next step in scenicking my shelf. Now, while we're watching this go on, a thought had occurred to me while I was trying to figure out how fast switching operations should go. And I came up with a real simple trick that I think that will be a nice tip. I came up with a nice simple method for determining your yard speeds. It doesn't matter what scale you're in. This would work in HO, O scale, or N scale in this case. And that is that a nice slow yard speed would be 1 second per 10 foot of car. So if you have a 50-foot car and the front of the train passes by a point, the rear of the train should pass by in 5 seconds later. So here you are, whether it's a O scale or N scale, the front of a car passes a point, count to 5, and the rear of the car should pass the same point. That's a good yard speed. If you can crawl a little slower, that's fine, but to me, that is the simplicity that works for me, and it works in any scale. 40-foot cars, 4 seconds. If you're going a little quicker than yard speed, sometimes you do when you're shuffling, that's alright too. So here we have it, a completed blocked out train. The brown box, tanker car, hopper, and then towards the front of the train, the yellow rail box to be delivered to the first industry. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed my short video on yard classification. We'll see you next time.